Hi Lakers, it's Mrs. Porthan, and I'm going to be reading a story called My Poppy Has a Motorcycle by Isabel Quintero, illustrated by Zeke Pena. I've never read this book, so I might make some mistakes as I'm going, but it was recommended to me by Mrs. Boris, and I thought she was a great book expert to know good stories for reading. So I'm going to back up. If I think there's a good picture, I'll try to make sure to show it to you. My Poppy has a motorcycle. From him I've learned words like carburetor and cariño, drill and dedication. When I hear his gray truck pull into our driveway, I run outside with both of our helmets. My Poppy, the carpenter, is covered in sawdust and smells like a hard day at work. His hands are rough from building homes every day, his job since he first arrived in this country. But even though he comes home tired, he always has time for me. When our city is winding down, he takes me for a ride. Today he's going to show me the new houses he's working on. Poppy is careful with my ponytail as he pulls my helmet tight. When he lifts me onto the smooth black seat, his hands don't feel rough. They don't feel tired. They feel like all the love he has trouble saying. Lista? Si. Poppy revs the engine, and the smell of gasoline hits me as he squeezes the accelerator. Con cuidado, be careful. The motor rumbles and growls. Agarrate, hold on. And then we take off. The shiny blue metal of the motorcycle glows in the sun. The sun, the bright orange sun is on its way down, turning our sky blue and purple and gold. We become a spectacular, celestial thing soaring on asphalt, a comet. The sawdust falling from Poppy's hair and clothes becomes a tail following us. Poppy zigzags through the streets. We pass Abuelita's church and Tortilleras La Estrella and stop for stray cats crossing in front of us. Mommy thinks there's too many of them, but I think there's just enough. We pass Joy's Market, where Mommy buys my gummy bears. Mr. Garcia, our librarian, is walking out the door and nods at us. We nod back. This is how we always greet each other. When we roar past murals that tell our history of citrus groves and immigrants who worked on them, and the famous road race that took place on Grand Boulevard 100 years ago. Daisy! Now I know that we're stopping at Don Rudy's Raspados. But as we near the shop, we see that it's empty and out of business. I can tell Poppy is disappointed. Imagine the smell of the sweet syrups Don Rudy used to flavor our shaved ice. Blop, blop, blop. I won't be the only one who misses him. As we ride on, I feel and hear everyone and everything that we pass by. Each sound landing in my ears rebuilds whole neighborhoods inside me. No matter how far I go from this place or how much it changes, this city will always be with me. Here's some of the noises she's hearing. Chirp, 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 chirp. Roar. Ha, 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 ha. We cruise by Abuelito and Abuelito's old yellow house, the one with the lemon tree that grew from the seeds of the lemons Abuelito used to pick, not far from here. Mommy says we're going to visit them tomorrow to cut napoles from their garden and eat herby albodingas in Abuelita's kitchen, where the food always tastes better. We turn the corner and then, mija, adios, mi reina, adios. The dogs behind the fence go wild. Frankly, the Lopez's Labradoodle escapes from her yard and runs after us. Mercedes Lopez, the fastest runner in our class, races after her. Then, just as fast, the dog's barking, and Mercedes and Frankie become soft, hushed in the distance. They're right behind us. We ride towards the new homes, replacing the last of the citrus groves. Trabajando duro, muchachos. A little bit, but not too much. Are you working much? The painters, drywallers, and floor layers all greet us, but we can barely hear their words amid the sounds of the hammers and the air compressors. Even in all that noise, my Poppy's voice touches everything. Around the circle, this is my favorite part. On Grand Boulevard, we lean into the curve of the street. I make believe that we're in one of the races that took place here so long ago. It's our last lap and we have to win. The crowd cheers us on. I feel Poppy smile as I squeeze my arms tighter around him. Vamos, Poppy, faster, faster! We fly around the circle. There's the school where we practice soccer. There's the post office where Mr. Charlie takes our letters. And La Panaderia, where Poppy buys conchas on Sunday mornings. Vroom! Here it is, all of our beautiful city. My eyes try to catch everything, but the colors of the houses blend into one another. Red, blue, green, orange, pink. That's a fun picture. We ride, ride, ride until the blue glow from the motorcycle begins to dim, and our comic tail has been left behind on the streets we've traveled. We head home, and slowly the engine echoes us back to our street, and then our driveway, our finish line. Mommy and little brother hear the motorcycle and run out to greet us. Mommy waves us in, just like a referee. Poppy and I can't stop laughing. We had a good ride. Through our laughter, I hear a familiar sound. Honk, honk, raspados. I think about my city and all the changes it's been through, and all the changes that will come. Chicle y fresa, por favor. Oh, look at it. They got their treat after all. But I know that here in our little house, there are things that will always be the same. Mañana, we fly again. I like that. It's a great family story. I'll read the author's notes too. One of my fondest memories from when I was a little girl is of my Appa coming home from work and putting me on the back of his bright blue motorcycle to take a spin around our city, Corona, California. Zeke Pena was able to take all the elements that live in my memory from childhood and even the places that have disappeared, like the tortilleria and the raspado shop, and put them in the illustrations. While the murals he's created are imagined, the history they depict is real. In 1913, Corona held its first road race on what is now Grand Boulevard, the street that makes a perfect circle around the older part of the city. Today, people live in the middle of that old racetrack. I actually grew up there. At one point in time, Corona was also known as the lemon capital of the world because all of the citrus that was cultivated there. Immigrants did the majority of the hard labor of picking the fruit, which allowed for the citrus boom, and this, in turn, helped establish the city. I wanted to give a nod to the workers who built not only Corona, but a lot of our country, including my grandfather. History and change are always on my mind. Who are the people who build our cities and form our communities? Who are the people who get streets named after them? And who are the people who lay the asphalt? I think these are important questions, and ones I've thought about since I was a kid, and more so as an adult. Ultimately, this book is a love letter to both my father, who showed me a different way of experiencing home, and to Corona, California, a city that will always be a part of me. Thanks for listening. We miss you so much, and we hope everybody's having a good time with their families, learning lots, and just spending time together, being safe and being loved.